it's Rena. I'm in a good, wonderful space today, only because lots more is coming from the universe about my freelance writing and things like that. So awesome stuff that's happening for me. And I wanted to talk today about codependency. Codependency, it runs everywhere through our life, through our relationships, through our business relationships, with our children, with our parents, with our family. It is rampant, codependency. Now, codependency, I believe that we can live without codependency. Not to say that we can't depend on somebody. You know, that comes from an entirely different space when you bring spirit into it. Now, I want to talk about why codependency happens in our world. I took off my glasses today. I'm trying to do something with my hair, but look at my gray. Okay. I want to talk about where codependency comes into. Now, I'm going to talk about the human experience. So we have our human experience, and we live in our human experience, and we're interacting with people, and, we believe that what we're doing is, from a good little heart space, but we don't bring spirit into our communication, and we don't bring the universe into our everyday interactions. And that's really where we're having a lot of trouble right now. Now, people talk about, oh, they pray to God and whatever, back in the day, that's how it was. However, I believe it's more of a mindful practice because it's about owning your God self, and it's owning your divinity, and it's owning your power of choice. Are you going to choose from belief systems, or are you going to choose from love and compassion? Because really, it's either the mind, everything else is the mind, and the only truth is love and compassion. So what are you going to choose? Now, if I tell somebody, and I'm ending in a relationship, for instance, and I say to them, I can't live without you. Let's look at that statement, because everyone has used that at some point, or felt it, or thought it, or what. I can't live without this person. Well, okay. You can't live with that. Now, first of all, you're using you. You is a total deflection. Usually we should be saying I. Well, as soon as we say you, it is a deflection of what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing. I try to change a lot of my writing and use we now instead of you, because people take great offense to when you hear you. It is totally it's just a pattern that we're so accustomed to, so we have to learn how to distinguish that and how to use different language and use more of a higher vibrating type of language. So if I say you and I'm giving the blame to somebody else, I can't live without you, what feeling does that immediately bring up? Well, that brings up guilt. That brings up that you're deflected onto putting that person into a tremendous amount of pain, and you are responsible for whatever is happening. Whatever, you can take whatever you can and make assumptions out of that statement entirely. That is definitely codependency. When you believe that you need somebody, or you are angry or jealous because somebody is doing something, or you're competitive, these are all things of the ego. These are all the ways of the 3D life of what we are transcending now on the planet. Yes, we are in the physical realm. However, because I've heard this excuse many times, well, I came into a human body, so I should be able to play in the human body. Well, yeah, but you're also a spirit in a human body. And what we're here to do is to bridge heaven and earth. We're not here to just live in a human body and go along our way and just live auto trigger and happy and codependency and all those things without incorporating spirit into our everyday life. It's really important to incorporate spirit into your everyday life. It's not a bad thing to stop and go, okay, universe, give me a sign. How should I respond to this? Because I need an answer. And sometimes you may not get an answer because the universe just wants you to be silent. If you don't get an answer, that means that you have to be silent and wait and trust and have faith. So that's a lesson that's in turn that you're going to be learning. Now, if you bring spirit in and you ask and you pray, you feel something and it tells you need to walk away. Don't engage. And if that's what you're hearing, and that's something that you wouldn't do, I would trust that. I would totally trust that. I would trust that gut instinct and listen. Now, the more that we continue to bring the universe into our everyday lives, into our relationships, this is when you're going to transcend the ego. This is when you are now living as a human in the physical world, but you're also bringing in the spirituality and the universe through space, through mindful practice into your everyday, which will then bridge heaven and earth, because then you are now allowing the universe to act through you instead of you taking all control and doing everything from in here. Oh, they're my needs. This is what I want. Well, you don't really know what you want. The universe knows what you want. And that's when giving up all the faith and trust in the universe to know what you want. And that's the hardest part, is to let go and to trust and to let God, universe, spirit, whatever else. So codependency, anger, jealousy, envy. I need somebody in my life. I can't do anything without this person. I can't, be alone. It's a hard one. And people establish coping mechanisms out of codependency. You either jump from relationship to relationship because you can't cope. You do drugs, you drink, you go out and party, you have sex, you do all these things. Now, it is what it is, We can't be shameful to each other about this. I've done it. If anyone's known me, I was like, party arena. Woo! Given a lot of that up because I realized I'm not in control of my life. Really, when you start following the spiritual path, you will be called up at some point. You will be called up at some point to be like, okay, you want to be a messenger and you want to live this authentic spiritual lifestyle, then universe is going to definitely give you some lessons to pull you into alignment with that so that you don't have these coping mechanisms. Instead, the universe is going to be like, you're going to be alone for a while and you're going to learn exactly what codependence is and how to be alone. You're not really alone. It's all an illusion. And the more that I started to bring spirit into my life and into my everyday life, the more that things started to really happen. And now it's just like, no wonder they say that people who are spiritual look crazy. No, it's just a constant talk. It's like, okay, universe, so, not for every little thing. Oh, I'm going to do the dishes. No, it's like, okay, so can I hold off to do groceries for the week? And then, universe will come in and say, you can make this, this, and this. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Without me having to think about it. Spirit takes away the mind. Takes away all the, I have to go and do this. And I have to go and do this. And I have to buy this. And I have to prepare dinner. And I have to do this. I don't use a calendar. I don't use anything. I basically give up to spirit and be like, yeah, can you remind me about that? Thanks. And the more in tune you get, the more spirit will be like, hey, you have to take your daughter to Girl Guides. Oh, yeah. They have a special thing going on. And I'd be like, oh, I don't remember the date. Oh, the 18th. Oh, yeah, thank you. So that's what I'm saying. The more that you get rid of the codependency, become interdependent, and bring universe into your everyday life, that is when your life will start to even out. And I mean, if you got to cope and you got to do stuff, then hell, do what you got to do. Because through those things, you will learn your lessons. You will learn your lessons, you will learn your patterns, and there's no other way to learn them. Relationships bring up the biggest growth in you. And so if you are learning this way, then it is tremendous. Just remember to be mindful. If you want to try and switch things up in your interactions and your relationships to get rid of codependency, ask the universe to come in and say, okay, are you reacting, out of these slower vibrating emotions like anger, obsession, jealousy, envy, OCD, clingy, needy, wanting, desperation? Are you acting from those places? Because if you are, it's an indication that it is codependency and it is ego. Now, if it's from a place of self-love and self-compassion and love and compassion for the soul growth of the person that you're dealing with, that transcends everything. That's where you can let go, because then you can see if I'm enabling a situation or if I'm partaking too much in a situation where it's firing the egos and I can't do it, so you have to let go. Is it a situation where I have to basically go in and the universe say, just apologize for something and be humble about it? Then that's what you do, because you follow the direction from spirit and it will resonate in your heart and you'll know it's just the right thing to do. And it's not even about what's right or wrong. There's no such thing as a right or wrong. The only thing is about the truth. And so if you're allowing spirit to come through you, you will be speaking truth. But if you continue to, buy into those patterns, then you will continue to speak from ego. But it'll take time and practice. So I'm here to say, practice. Choose differently. If you notice a pattern in your relationships and it's continuously happening, you gotta look at it. Because what does Albert Einstein say? What did he say? That the act of insanity is by doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. That's exactly what it is. If your patterns are running rampant and you're noticing the patterns, that's awesome, because that is a key aspect of being mindful now. So now if you've caught the pattern, okay, why does this keep coming up? Ask spirit. Ask how you can transcend that and bring that more into your daily life. Meditate about it. Ask how you can transcend this situation from a place of love and kindness. Not about right or wrong, not about this person, unless you're being abused. I mean, if you're being emotionally, physically, abused, you don't deserve that, So you got to know your worth. You got to know what you deserve. And if you don't deserve it, then you need to make a choice. You can either stay, which means that you don't love yourself, or you can leave, which means that you love yourself. So it's all about those choices and bringing into the universe to say, okay, look, how can I make this choice from a place of love and compassion? This person wants to, okay, let's use something. Oh, okay. I cheated on somebody. I cheated on my partner, How can I do this from a place of love and kindness now that they know about it, they're upset about it, they're rampant about it? But I'm trying to justify my actions because of, you hear the blame game, because you weren't available after work. I got to do this all by myself. I had to be alone. I lost the intimacy. You. Back up. That may be true that there was a lack of intimacy. However, you can't put ownership on somebody else. The lack of intimacy comes from within yourself. You see, if you start to have a relationship with yourself and with spirit and to allow that to come into you, you become whole. You become whole, that you don't need anything from anybody else in that regard, because you are acting from a place of soul integrity. And so instead of saying, well, you're the cause of this, that's why I reacted that way. No. I did this. I cheated because I lack something in myself of intimacy that I can't get. And I put that onus on you to give that to me. And that's not right. So you see, relationships come from when you're both bringing source in down through to you. You're both bridging heaven and earth together, that you can then unite in a third unified field of consciousness. And then the ego doesn't, it may come up every now and then, but if you're both whole and working through that, it all works out. I've got texts coming in. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about codependency, about 13 minutes. Yeah. In a good space. It's awesome. So, look at your life. Look, we have been ingrained with codependency. It's in our media. It's in our TV. Relationships are constantly, if you pay attention to watch your favorite show and watch how they automatically blame. If they're saying, you do this, or why don't you just do that? Or deflection and blame. We have to start changing the terminology from you do that to I'm going to do this. How can this affect the situation? And how is this from a place of source? Love. Follow me on Facebook. Check me out, please. I guess I'll give you a little bit about me. Those who don't know me, I'm an intuitive consult. I have been working with energy since I was about 14. I've been born with extrasensory abilities when I was little. Had, past life memories since I was little. So I've been doing this for quite a long time, and I'm here to help you own your power, because it's not just about going to psychics and mediums and getting readings. You can learn to do that for yourself, and I'm here to teach you how to do those things for yourself. Own your power. Own your God self inside of you, because that's exactly what you're here to do. Okay, so watch for the codependency. Watch for those lower vibrating emotions. Not lower, slower. I'm trying to change my terminology, because there's no level. So the slower vibrating emotions and see how those are dictating your life, go within. Go within and ask. Bring in the universe and ask and journal and see what comes through. How to end your codependency so that you can own your life freely. Living internal freedom every day. Namaste.